All right, let's talk about Old Man Logan. Now, this is not the Wolverine you might be used to. This guy comes from a future where the villains flat out won, a future he barely clawed his way out of. He got a second chance, a real shot at making sure his timeline never happens. But as he's about to find out, some nightmares don't care where you run. They will find you.
So, what is this bad place he's talking about? Well, it's the Wastelands. Imagine a desolate, brutal future where pretty much everyone he ever cared about is long gone. Logan thought he was done with it, that he'd finally escaped. He figured it was just a bad memory, but he couldn't have been more wrong.
And that, right there, is the horrifying question at the center of this whole story. What do you do when the absolute hell you left behind suddenly shows up on your doorstep and you have no earthly idea how or why? And that's exactly where we find him. No warning, no explanation. Logan is just suddenly back. Back in the one place in the universe he never wanted to see again.
I mean, think about it. 1 minute, he's on a mission. The next, he's here, baking under the sun of the Wastelands, totally alone, totally confused. The last thing he clearly remembers is the absolute freezing cold of space. This shouldn't even be possible.
And just to be clear, this isn't him having a flashback. The monsters from his past are real, they are tangible, and yep, they are trying to kill him all over again. And a T-Rex bonded with a Venom symbiote? He can't exactly reason with that.
So, to figure out what's real, Logan has to fight his way through his own scrambled brain and latch onto the last thing that made any sense at all. This right here, this is the perfect picture of the war going on inside his head. On one hand, you've got the hot, dusty desert he's actually standing in. On the other, the cold, silent void of space, where he knows he was just moments ago. How can both of these things be true at the same time?
So, bit by bit, he starts to piece it together. The last solid memory he can trust? It was a mission. It all started with a distress call from an old buddy, Puck. So Logan hops in a shuttle, heads out to this abandoned S.H.I.E.L.D. station. But when he gets there, it's a ghost town. The crew's just gone. He walked right into a trap.
And this is what was waiting for him. The Brood. A whole swarm of them just pouring out of the walls in a nasty, overwhelming ambush.
Okay, so if you're not familiar with the Brood, let me give you the quick and dirty. They are one of the most terrifying things in the entire Marvel Universe. You know the xenomorphs from Alien? Yeah, kind of like that, but honestly, way worse. They don't just kill you, they turn you into one of them. It is a fate you wouldn't wish on your worst enemy.
And this is where everything changes. The fight on the station was real, absolutely. But what's happening to him now? This is a whole different kind of war. This is an all-out assault on his mind. I mean, listen to how Logan himself puts it. He feels like his brain has been split in two. He's living in two realities at the same time, and that conflict is just tearing him apart. You know, for a guy like Logan, physical pain is one thing, but this kind of psychological torture is a whole other level. Right in the middle of this mental storm, he sees a familiar face, Jean Grey. She's one of his oldest friends, one of the most powerful telepaths on the planet. But his instincts, honed over a century of survival, are screaming that something is deeply wrong here. This isn't Jean. And that's the key, right? This isn't a random psychic attack. The thing wearing Jean's face knows him. It knows him inside and out. It's digging deep into his psyche, pulling out the most painful memories he has, and turning his own guilt into a weapon, custom-made to break him.
The sheer cruelty of this attack is just staggering. On one side, he's seeing the ghosts of his wife and kids murdered back in the Wastelands. On the other, he's facing the Hulk's grandson, a brutal warlord he blames himself for creating. These aren't just nightmares, they are his biggest failures, weaponized and thrown right back in his face. But here's the thing about Logan. He's a survivor. You can break him, sure, but he always gets back up. And through all that pain and confusion, he's starting to see the truth.
He can feel it now, the psychic puppet master pulling his strings. His own body is betraying him. His claws are popping out without him even thinking it. And he gets it. This isn't just a fight to stay alive anymore. This is a fight for his own will, for his very soul. And then it all clicks into place, the final piece of the puzzle. The Brood, they don't just have mindless drones, they have queens, and some of them have powerful psychic abilities. This isn't Jean Grey, it's a Brood queen, wearing her face like a mask and using his captured friends to power up its attack.
He sees it, a tiny opening. The real Jean is still in there, trapped in her own mind. He sees that the Brood Queen has planted an egg in her brainstem. He's got one shot, a single, perfect, surgically precise strike to cut the connection without killing his friend. No time to second guess. He just has to trust his instincts.
And he does it. With one perfect slash, the psychic link is shattered. The Wastelands just evaporate, and he's back on the station. Jean is safe. The other young X-Men who came looking for him are safe. For now, at least. The nightmare is finally over.
So, he won the battle. He broke free from a psychic hell and saved his friends. But this whole thing just proves that the Wastelands, his past, will never truly leave him. Which brings us back to the question that has always defined Old Man Logan: can you ever really, truly escape the ghosts of your own past?